All right, so we're diving into Metaphysics of Merlin 2024.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, September 13th, 2024.
Things were intense.
Globally, yeah, the world's a bit of a pressure cooker, you know,
Yeah.
and we're tapping into that energy, a room full of seekers,
Room full of chambre.
and of course, Adamus Saint-Germain.
Yeah, things are going to be interesting when Adamus takes the stage. It's that blend of wisdom and humor
Always.
and that twinkle in his eye, right? He shakes things up.
Absolutely. And we're working from the transcript of the opening session here.
Fun.
Oh, it is pure Adamus from the get-go.
Yeah.
He jumps right in, talking about the pace of life way back when, centuries, millennia ago, compared to, what he calls the breakneck speed of our modern world.
Yeah, the time of the machines, he says.
The time of the machines. What do you make of that? This idea that we chose to incarnate into this, well, kind of chaotic, fast-paced era.
It's interesting because on one hand, it does feel, like you said, chaotic and overwhelming at times. But then again, so many of us are drawn to this message, to this path during this exact time. It's like maybe we were built for this. Like our souls knew this intensity would help us evolve faster than ever.
It's true. Maybe we're not just along for the ride. Maybe we knew what we were signing up for. But he doesn't stop there. He talks about the spiritual maturity humans have developed, especially those drawn to his message, of Shamra. That pull towards something more, something deeper.
Yeah.
Adamus seems to be saying that this very pull is a sign of our readiness.
It's like a homing beacon, isn't it? It's like, that feeling that there's something more to life than what we've been told. That's our soul waking up, realizing its own potential.
Yes, and he goes on to say that this maturity we're cultivating, it's like building an inner compass.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
One that's less swayed by external events, that I am presence that can weather any storm.
It's about finding that place of unshakable knowing within yourself.
Okay, and that brings us to, I think, the core of this session, the really juicy bit.
Okay.
The idea that there are NO forces working against us.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Right. Adamus spends a good chunk of time deconstructing some of the common beliefs that he says keep us feeling stuck.
We can get so caught up in those beliefs, can't we?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like mass consciousness, for example. It's easy to feel like we're just at the mercy of this collective energy.
Right, like we're just swimming along in the sea of energy, buffeted by the currents.
Exactly. But Adamus basically says, it's there, sure, but it doesn't care.
Yeah.
You can choose to step off the grid of that system.
It's a bold statement, isn't it? Stepping off the grid of mass consciousness. So what does that even look like? What does it mean to be free from that influence?
Well, it's about recognizing the power of your own energy, your choices.
Okay.
Think about it. Have you ever noticed how your energy shifts?
Oh, yeah.
When you're around certain people or environments?
Totally.
It's because we're interacting with different energy fields all the time, right? And you have the power to choose which ones you align with.
Which ones you allow to influence you?
It's like that's the perfect analogy for what he talks about next, because he says, it's not just mass consciousness.
Right.
It's ancestral patterns, family contracts we often feel bound by. But he says that sticky glue, as he calls it, is dissolving.
Dissolving. It's like we're graduating.
Yeah.
We're moving beyond those old agreements that might have kept us tethered, for lifetimes to certain patterns, lineages. But what's fascinating is that our ancestors aren't holding us back anymore. They've moved on too, you see.
Really?
They're cheering us on from the sidelines, encouraging us to break free.
Wow, I love that.
To create something new.
Okay. So we've tackled those family patterns.
Yeah.
The illusion of this controlling mass consciousness.
Yeah.
You ready for more? Because Adamus, he doesn't stop there.
He keeps going.
Oh, yeah. He takes aim at the government, aliens, you name it. He even launches into this hilarious bit about how no self-respecting alien would want to take over our bodies.
Oh, no.
No. Something about our energy being way too intense.
Oh, that's funny.
Right. But it highlights this point that we give our power away.
Yes.
To these perceived external forces all the time.
You do.
Whether it's the government, extraterrestrials.
The economy.
Oh, the economy. We buy into this idea that these things have power over us when, what if it's just a story we're telling ourselves?
Exactly. Yeah.
And to drive this point home, he starts using props. Picture this, Adamus, on stage, and he pulls out this giant, slightly smelly running shoe.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh, it's hilarious, right?
Yes, this is when the energy in the room shifts, when he pulls out this shoe.
And he's waving it around. He's like, you can't outrun your problems, Chambre, no matter how fast you run, no matter how fancy your sneakers are.
It's so true.
But like, ouch. He's got a point, right? Have you ever noticed that tendency to try to outrun
All the time.
uncomfortable feelings, situations?
We all do it in different ways.
Yeah.
The thing is, true freedom, it doesn't come from escaping. It comes from confronting those parts of ourselves,
Oh, I like that.
our lives, realizing they don't have the power.
Integrating them.
Integrating, exactly.
Okay, so that brings up, another big one. What about health and wealth?
Yeah.
Don't those often feel like forces working against us?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, you just can't catch a break.
Right. Right. Well, and this is where, Adamus's wisdom really shines through. He doesn't deny the reality of these challenges, right?
But he encourages us to see them from a different perspective.
Okay.
He suggests that pain, lack, these things are often signals, messages from our bodies,
Okay.
from our energy trying to get our attention.
Almost like, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah, yeah.
But in this case, it's like when the student is ready, the pain, the lack, the challenge appears.
Right, right.
And it's not there to punish you.
It's to guide you.
To guide you.
Exactly.
And that takes us back to this maturity he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's not about pretending everything is rosy. It's about having the courage, I think, to face those darker, denser parts of ourselves, our lives.
Absolutely.
With a new level of awareness.
Yes.
And maybe even a sense of curiosity.
Like, okay, what are you here to show me?
What are you trying to tell me?
What do I need to learn? What do I need to shift within myself to move through this?
Yes. And Adamus, he can't resist a good plot twist, can he?
Well, no. What's he going to do?
Just when you think you've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
He throws this curveball. He says there is one legitimate force that can work against us. Time.
Oh. Okay. I love that he does that.
Right.
Because he builds the suspense. He gets you all comfy with this idea that there's nothing working against you.
Yeah.
And then, bam, time.
Time.
So why is time different? How can it be a force when all these other things aren't?
Well, he only offers a little teaser in this session.
Okay, yeah.
He was explaining how most of us experience time in a linear way.
Okay.
As this constant pressure.
Right.
This thing that's always slipping away.
Yeah.
But he hints that it doesn't have to be that way. We can learn to make time work for us, not against us.
I love that.
And of course, saves the juicy details for later in the gathering.
Classic Adamus cliffhanger.
Classic Adamus. But even with that kind of lingering mystery, I think the final thought he leaves us with is really, really powerful. Because he challenges us to imagine, what would become possible if we really deeply integrated this idea that there are no forces working against us. What do you think? What shifts for you when you really sit with that?
It's a complete paradigm shift, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can release that belief that we're constantly battling these external forces, that our energy is always being influenced or drained by things outside ourselves,
then we step into this whole new level of creation. Our lives become a blank canvas. And we become the artists. We realize the true power has always been within.
Wow. It's exhilarating and a little daunting, isn't it?
It is.
This idea that we're not just victims of circumstance, but we are powerful creators.
Yes.
And that we have this ability and the responsibility, really, to shape our reality with every thought, belief, choice.
It's true.
So as you move to your day today, remember, there are no forces working against you. What will you create with that freedom?